Good morning, everybody. How are you? How are you? Good Tuesday morning. It is kind of early Tuesday morning, but the sun is out, so it's a beautiful day. I just wanted to hop on here this morning and say good morning. Welcome to Shawana Denise Live. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Just want to come on really quick and give you guys some sunshine. It's still the beginning of the week, so I hope that yesterday was a great day for you. It was a pretty busy day for me yesterday, and I know today is probably going to be even busier, but that's okay. That's life, right? So wanted to hop on this morning and talk a little bit about some things that I've been talking to a couple of women, about some of the things that women talk to me about all the time. Well, one of the things that they talk to me about all the time is wanting to be married, right? You know, most of the women that I talk to, they're single, and they really, really want to be married, right? They've been single for a long time, and it's frustrating for them to continue to be single and continue to feel like they're not finding the caliber of man, that they want or that they feel like they deserve, right? So one of the questions that I always ask them, are you a good? Right? What does that mean? So the Bible says that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, or he finds a good. Right? So are you a good? Are you a good thing? And how do you know if you're a good thing, right? How do you know that you're ready for what marriage entails and what marriage truly is? And nowadays, I don't know what people think marriage is, right? Because there are people who've been married for 30, 40 years and are getting a divorce. Probably maybe because they shouldn't have been married in the first place, or maybe because they didn't marry the right person, and then 40 years later you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not with the right person. Or sometimes people are getting a divorce because of selfishness, right? Because they have decided, I've given all these years and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be single. I want to live my life. I want to do what I want to do. I want to do me. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, are you a good, right? Are you someone who can be selfless? Because that's what marriage is about, being selfless, not selfish. Are you someone who can compromise, right? Can you, come to the table and hear what your husband has to say, even if it's not in agreement with you, right? Can you yield to your husband? So if we're talking about a godly marriage, then you have to ask yourself, am I ready for that? Right? Am I ready to allow my husband to be head of the household, be head of the family? Am I ready for that? Because if that's the kind of marriage that you want, then you got to ask yourself, am I good? What am I bringing to the table? I know so many times women are talking about what they want in a man, and he got to have this, and he has to have that, and he can't be this, and he can't be that. Well, what are you bringing? Right? That's what you have to ask yourself. Am I good? Right? It's more than what you look like. It's more than what your body looks like. It's more than that. Right? Do you have intelligence? Do you have wisdom? Are you able to see a thing before, destruction comes? Are you able to stay on your knees and pray and cry out to God, regarding your husband, your marriage, your family? Are you able to do that? Right? The Bible says that the woman is a helpmeet, right? Or a helpmate, right? Are you helping? Are you helping to build him up? Are you helping to make sure that, you two grow together spiritually, financially, emotionally? Are you ready for that? Right? I talk to women all the time. They're talking to me about what they don't want and what they want. But are you ready? Right? What are you bringing to the table? He has to have a certain financial status. What's your financial status? He has to have a certain credit rate. What's your credit rate? Right? You know what I mean? What are you bringing to the table other than the physical? Right? Are you intelligent? Do you have wisdom? Do you have discernment? Do you know how to pray? Like, those are things that are important in a marriage, because let me tell you, marriage is not easy. It is hard work, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful to have somebody to share your life with. It's beautiful to have somebody to share your dreams with, your accomplishments with, right? It's a beautiful thing. But marriage is also work. It's not easy. It's not just something that, it's going to be rainbows and sunshine all the time. That's not normal, right? Don't believe social media. Don't believe the hype, right? Marriage is work. It's a beautiful thing, but you have to work at it continuing to be a beautiful thing. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to hop on here this morning, because I hear this from women all the time, and I always challenge them, right? Ask yourself first, am I going to be his good thing, right? I can honestly say when I first got married, I was very young, right? My husband, is a bit older than me, so, he had kind of been there, done that, all that stuff, and he was, ready to be settled down, ready to be married, and, and I was young. So was I a good thing? I was, I was a nice thing. I was a pretty thing, or what he calls me, his PYT, pretty young thing. Yeah, I was that, right? But I can't necessarily say I was a good, right? Because I had to mature and I had to grow into a good, right? There are things that, and not detrimental things, but there are things that I did because I was young and because I had a lot of trauma, right? I had a lot of trauma in my childhood and my teenage years. I had a lot of trauma. So when you don't deal with those things and then you go into a marriage, you are not ready, right, to be a good until you deal with the trauma from your past so that you can be comfortable with you, right? And then be available to be a good for your husband, right? So I didn't deal with a lot of my trauma until, like, I would say late 20s, early 30s, right? And so it takes a long time to deal with the kind of trauma that I've been through. So I can honestly say when I first met my husband, no, I wasn't a good. I grew into a good, right? God knew that I would grow into a good. God knew that my life would enhance his, in ways, and that's what I wanted. I have a wonderful husband. I can't say enough about him, and I smile because I have a really, really good husband. And my desire was always to be a good wife, to be a great mother, to be someone that he can lean on and depend on and look to, right? Because that's what a helpmate is. So before you go out and get married and start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm ready, make sure that you are ready. Make sure that you are a good. And yes, there are things that he needs to do too, right? He needs to be prepared for a wife. He needs to be prepared for a family. He needs to make sure that he can take care of his family, make sure that he can do all the things that God is requiring of a husband to do and be. But you also have to make sure that you are what God has required to be in a wife. Okay? Stop focusing on what he needs to be, what he can't be. Focus on you. Okay, present yourself to God and say, God, okay, God, you tell me, am I ready? Right? Am I ready? Can I compromise? Can I not, get angry or fly off the handle when he doesn't agree with what I think should happen? Right? Can we sometimes agree to disagree? Right? And still not allow it to affect our marriage? Am I good with my finances? That's a big thing, right? Marriages break up over sex, finances, and miscommunication, right? So you got to ask yourself too, am I good with my finances? What is my credit score, right? If we had to go and buy a house, do I have enough credit where we can get a low interest rate? Those are things that you have to think about. Right? Am I in credit card debt? And if I am, I got to dig my way out of that credit card debt, because I got to think about my family and where we're going and where we want to go and where we want to be. So those things that you have been doing since you while you're single, you got to start thinking, okay, I might not be able to do those things when I get married. All right? And it's not, for your husband to be um lording over you and telling you what you can't buy and what you can't do, but you got to use wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. That's what the Bible says. Wisdom is the principal thing. Right? I made so many mistakes when I was young in my marriage. So many mistakes, you know, just, kind of, being young. Being young and doing me, and, but I had a husband who was patient, a husband who was loving, a husband who was kind, but still told me when I was like, you out of line. You know what I mean? And not in a mean way or overbearing way, but just to let me know. He kind of pulled my coattail, like, yo, what are you doing? Right? So you got to start thinking about those things. I know you guys want to be married, and marriage is a beautiful thing. It's an honorable thing. It's something that God has ordained, right? Marriage is a great thing. Just make sure that you're ready. Are you a good? You got to really ask yourself that, and sit down and let God show you those things that you need to tighten up, right? If it's your attitude, if it's your disposition, right? And then you got to really think about, am I able to live with somebody for the rest of my life and be okay with who they are, right? Those are the things that we have to ask ourselves and we have to think about. So I just wanted to drop that in on you guys this morning. Ladies, listen, I know you wouldn't be married. I'm married. I think it's awesome. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. Right? But just ensure that you are ready. Right? Just ensure that you are ready. I talk to women all the time about this. So many single women that, that are just dying to be married, right? Take your time. Take your time. Get you together. And then God will allow the man that's for you to find you. Okay? All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a great, great day. Thank you for joining me today. This is Shawana Denise Live, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.